It's time to go beyond plus ultra for Boku no Hero Academia. You're oddly quiet, dude.
I hate that you were right because it makes way less sense that you're right.
Why? Why would an invisible person be a bad spy?
What do you mean, why would they be a bad spy? They'd be the perfect spy.
So, she was
Who's
spying
done,
on
she's
people?
also done less than Aoyama. Like, she's been in the background the entire time doing absolutely jack shit.
That you know about.
That the entire fandom at that point would know about.
Right. It's a twist.
It's
She's
a bad twist. I feel like this is a case of Araki forgot again.
she is probably the most useful character outside of the main three.
He's done absolutely nothing.
That you know about.
Again, you keep pointing to it like it's me. When you point at me, you're pointing at the entire fandom.
So all you Toru haters out there, she is best girl and she proved it this episode.
You're not even talking about haters at that point. You're just talking about people that will tell you she's done nothing. This is the most useful thing she's ever done in the entire series. And it's just being at the right place at the right time. It's not even doing anything else.
So wait. Honestly, on a scale from 1 to 10, how mad are you that I was right?
Maybe a 5.
Okay.
Just because I feel like it's a bad twist. Like, literally, again, the argument that you're saying that, oh man, Toru did the good thing. She's literally there at the right time. It doesn't even matter that she's invisible. It could literally have been anyone else there.
But then they would have seen them.
She's hiding behind a tree. And they seem way more involved in their conversation than to be checking around their surroundings. Like, they didn't even notice Midoriya coming up until he stepped on a branch.
Well, for the few fans we have, let's not try to argue too much about this.
You know what? You're right. Jiro had a way great scene in here, and I loved it. It should really be the thumbnail.
And what did she do again besides training?
Being real cool and punky. You know, the thing that you can't say about Toru because you can't see her.
But she is adorable.
You can't even see her being adorable. You get one slight image where she's like crying, and that's the best we've ever seen of her. She's been nothing but invisible gloves and boots. That's it. She can't even JoJo pose.
So it seems that Shiggy and All For One are almost finished combining consciousnesses, it seems.
I mean, I feel like the main body's just checking up on that situation. It's probably about where we left it off last episode. Still at that like 98-ish% mark. It's probably a similar situation to All Might feeling the emotions from his other self in One for All.
Yeah. Do you think he has some equivalent to a vestige world inside his All For One?
I mean, I think we kind of saw that when he was trying to take One for All from Midoriya before. Like that weird intersection.
But that was that before Shiggy became Shiggy for One?
Mm-mm. It was that. Whether they weren't fully like fused or anything at that point, but they were in there. They were together. There
Okay,
was
okay.
also like you're also seeing it with oh, what's it called? Like last episode where we saw New Order just tearing up everything.
But that was inside Shiggy's.
Yeah, but isn't that what you're asking?
No,
Doesn't
no,
All
no.
for One?
No, like the actual All For One. Does
Oh, I
he.
assume, yeah. Like this is supposed to be a copy of his ability. I'm assuming it's the same thing.
Okay, because, like, does he have, like, some sort of vestige of Shiggy inside him? Or not?
I would say not, just because he doesn't have the the decay quirk in him.
Mm-mm.
He has vestiges probably of other people. They do mention about like feeling their memories at some point too.
Mm.
I think that was last season he mentions that. But I mean that kind of entails that there is a vestige world within that quirk as well.
Mm. And he says that he has many, many routes for his goal. If
Of
one thing,
course, he's a fucking villainous mastermind. He's a Moriarty. He's got so many plans that just lead to the same answer. Does make me wonder where the Sherlock Holmes of this universe is. Because it sure as hell ain't All Might. He ain't that smart.
no, no, no.
He's a good punch man. That's about it.
This is not a Xanatos Gambit, because I believe Xanatos Gambit, named after the Xanatos from Gargoyles, is my plan fails, I still win because of this, or this.
I mean, it kind of is by that definition, though, isn't it? Because he says he has multiple routes to the same goal. Whether or not one route fails, he just finds the other or uses the other.
Okay, so I guess maybe in that, but even through failure, does he indirectly win?
I mean, if we take a look at Nagant from the other season, I would argue yes, because if that bomb took out Midoriya in the process.
So potentially, All For One may be a Xanatos master.
I think it's arguable considering how long he's supposedly been around and how much he's been able to evade the laws and shit. Hell, him being imprisoned was probably also a part of the plan, considering the way he talks.
Oh, okay. Then,
Like him losing to All Might and being taken in was probably part of it, I would guess.
mm,
The way he's talking, I'm just assuming that at this point, everything that happens is at least a way he's thought ahead of how it could go and has planned for such the occasion.
yeah.
Like, the only thing I can't see happening is if he loses Shigaraki outright at this point. That's the only thing I don't think he could plan for if that would happen.
So if like Shiggy somehow fights off his consciousness and
Oh,
rebels.
I'm think. Oh no, that I think he's got a plan for, which would be just absorb him at that point. Just absorb him into the real body.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I think I mentioned this in a prior season where I still think that at some point one side's going to double cross the other. Whether that's the Shiggy side or that's the original, I don't know. I still think one's going to eat the other in some way. You know, whether that's like Midoriya getting through and Shiggy starting to shake it off, and therefore main body is like, oh no, fuck that. I'm just eating him now.
Okay, my guess is that
Either that or he's got some other body besides Shiggy's that he can just absorb everything from.
right. Okay. No, I don't know enough about this to say. I'll hold off on this thought until we're a little bit more into the final war and like the final battle.
Okay. I mean, I'm not putting down anything like concrete here, but like when it comes to a character like this, there's always some bullshit that he's got in the background that nobody knows about.
Yeah, but my guess is whether concurrently or one after another, they will have two different fights. And I will say no absorption of one or the other will happen. Will there be double crossing? Maybe, but I'm going to guess that they will not like fight each other.
I don't know if it would be a fight at that point. If it's coming down to one absorbing the other, it's either because one is nearly beaten or has managed to start shaking off one for all for one's control, right?
Mm,
It's one or the other. And either way, that person is not in a situation where he's able to fully probably control his body.
mm,
If Shiggy is fighting it off, right? My thought in that case would literally be the fact that, like, it's at this point that there is a wrestle for control, and All for One is not gonna let that even have a chance to happen.
Mm.
He's going to come in as soon as that happens and do what he has to do to, like, get control once again of the
Hmm.
situation. Whatever that backup plan is.
Yeah,
God
yeah.
knows he's got one, it's just a matter of what is it?
Hmm. So everybody's training, whether it's using their quirks in tandem to make like new team attacks, whether it's fighting against each other, or in the case of Bakugo, trying to beat the shit out of Deku.
I mean, hey, look, he really hates Deku's hair and thinks he looks better with an afro.
I did find that slightly humorous.
Not the first time it's happened.
Right, but Deku having like burnt hair always
Mhm.
is slightly funny to me.
So here's what I'm actually curious about too, actually. Let's like rewind a second here.
Hmm.
So I'm curious if Dobby's gonna go off the handle because he's not willing to wait. Because that's where we get in that whole, explanation of having different routes to the same goal.
So you think Dobby will do something
Oh, I
ahead?
don't know if he will. I'm just curious if he's willing to. He doesn't seem like it right now, but who knows?
Mm, so he might not do something ahead of All for One's plan?
He may or may not. I don't know. He seems very impatient right now. And I don't
Mm.
know that the little monologue that, All for One is giving him is going to make that difference. Also, apparently, the location quirk is not gone. That one was not destroyed.
Right. And I don't know why you keep doing this, but I didn't really notice it until I was editing the other day. That last time you called Ragdoll Ringtail, and you always call
I
her
don't know
that.
why I do that. I keep doing that, and I don't know why.
Yeah, but I think it's because you do it so often, it just like connected with me. But
I think
going
it's just
back,
Ringtail sounds like a cat hero name and not Ragdoll.
maybe, but Ragdoll is apparently the type of a domesticated house cat,
I feel like
and
we've gone over this before. Yeah, I know.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just stuck in my brain, and I can't remember, think of it any other way.
So Shoto is learning to balance his bodies to withstand Dobby's fire, and he's almost perfected it.
Yep, seems like he's almost at that point where he's able to balance them evenly.
So, like, create a cooling fire, or what?
So that his body can withstand the heat, I think, of his own flames. That was kind of the whole idea that Endeavor had with his whole eugenics thing
Mm.
going on.
So, like, cool your body down so that
Hmm.
your flames can burn hotter.
Yeah, like
Okay.
that's the whole drawback of his own quirk. If he burns too hot, he burns himself out.
Or, in the case of Dobby, burns himself up.
Mm-hmm. Hence why the ice side for cooling.
Hmm. And Bakugo points out they're at a very large disadvantage because they have no idea where All for One is, and Shiggy probably is only stronger than the last time they faced him.
Mm-hmm. One, they can't find them. And he also calls All for One a fucking old nutsack.
And
I thought
did
that was entertaining.
and didn't one of the girls say, "Please don't mention nuts"?
Oh yeah, it was what's her face? Creati. I forget what
Ah.
her Momo. It's also they're also like it's tough to say whether or not, we're able to take them at this point. And three, they can't really make the first move without being at a disadvantage because of that.
Mhm.
So we might have an answer to this problem by the end of the episode.
Yes. And then we cut out to the forest for a certain best girl doing some spying.
She wasn't actively spying. She's just in the right place at the right time. It could literally have been any of the other ones. I think the bigger question is, why was she out there in the first place?
Well, she noticed that this person wasn't happy since Deku came back.
I don't think she did. Is that something she said?
That may not be word for word, but it was something along those lines.
I mean, that was something Deku said. I don't know if it's something that she said. Or if she just realized it, at this point.
So it turns out that she isn't the traitor, like you thought she would be.
I refer to my original comments at the start of this episode of it being a dumb twist and something that someone forgot about.
It's Yuga. Oh, French boy.
I also want to point out that you were desperately clinging to something that wasn't Toru and you pulled him out of your ass.
I said it was grape juice.
I think you mentioned Can't Stop Sparkling not showing up either when I said that Toru's just never around.
No, I actually didn't see him in the group scene last week.
Mm-hmm.
You said you saw like a corner of him, but he was like 2 layers behind people.
I don't remember what I said, so I can't confirm. Again, right place at the right time. Could have literally been anyone else. Her invisibility does not matter.
Oh,
This isn't an active spying mission.
I say otherwise.
You can say otherwise all you want. This wasn't an active choice.
So, I found it surprising that he was quirkless and that his parents, wanting to make him feel normal, got him a quirk from All for One. Didn't they know he was a villain at that point?
From the way they explain it, it doesn't seem like they realized who he was.
Oh.
Like, as far as, like, his underworld connections and shit.
Oh, this guy can just give out quirks to people.
Like, they mentioned they heard rumors that there was someone that could do that, and they tried to search him out for that purpose. It's only probably after they met with him that the threats started coming of, oh, you'll just die. And that was whether or not probably they took his offer or not at that point.
So it's like, hey, now you know who I am. Do you want your kid to have a quirk and work for me? Or do you want to die?
Pretty much is kind of the way I would take it, and the way that I would assume All for One would do it. Like, well, now that you're here, you can't really leave unless I have some form of leverage over you. Because otherwise, you're just gonna go somewhere, and things will get really, really annoying for me. Can't have All Might barging in so soon already.
Right. Then Toru goes off and gets Deku, and although his parents are denying it, he's just crying and like snotting everywhere like I'm a terrible villain.
Mm-hmm. Fooled everyone. The depression of what he's done finally hits home. Because he's been kind of like, I would assume, running from it in his own mind. Like, running from what he's actually having to do.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because, like, from what I can tell, at least, and what is mentioned, it doesn't seem like he's actively done anything to get someone killed. Because all they've done is kind of ask him for information. Like, oh, where's the training camp being held? And then the League of Villains shows up. He didn't know that was going to happen. He just knew he was supposed to tell them where the thing was.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. Leave the door unlocked. That's all we're asking. Okay. That's easy. This is the point where it's like, oh, you want me to lure Midoriya out where he's all alone. And considering all the other shit that has happened, I know exactly where this is going to lead.
And you want me to kill him?
More like lead him to a point where he's alone so they can gank him and take the work. Now, Aoyama probably doesn't know that for sure, but that's probably what he assumes is going to happen. And based on what he's been told, or based on what we know of what the plan is, that's probably what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna steal that quirk. Now, I don't know whether or not he got those orders before the New Order situation happened or not. Because normally I would just assume that Shigaraki would just ambush him and take it at that point. But since that body's kind of fucked up right now, who knows?
Yeah, so they run off. Deku gives in chase, and he fires a naval laser out on Deku. Deku is about to do, like, I think some kind of full cowling to block it or something.
I don't know if he was going to try and dodge or if he was going to try and block it with something.
And only to have the laser redirected by Best Girl, Toru.
The one time she's done something useful that probably wasn't even necessary.
And she is adorable. She is super adorable.
You don't even know what her hair color is.
Blue?
I think you're wrong.
More of a tealy blue?
I'm leaning more toward green here. But, like, it's so rainbowy and shimmery, you can't fucking tell.
But she's adorable. I want to hug her and say, don't cry. And then she'll push me away and said, I'm naked, you idiot. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't realize that. Because...
Just realize that if it's refracting off her body, everyone's seeing her naked right now. She just flashed Aoyama and his parents. Deku's just seeing her ass.
You know, at the beginning of that sentence, like, I forgot that she's completely naked now. That kind of makes this scene hilarious.
It kind of does. She's just completely flashing people right now.
Yeah, because, like...
And you don't think about it because it's supposed to be an emotional moment.
Yeah!
And now that you're thinking about it, you can't unthink about it.
Oh my god! She's still best
You're welcome,
girl.
Audience, for that image.
She's still
this is all happening while Toru's flashing everyone.
She is still best girl, though.
4 people have now been flashed. She is an exhibitionist, confirmed. She loves showing off to people.
I think Horikoshi's initial plan was to make an invisible character male, but he thought, no, it would be funnier if Toru was female. So...
I feel like what would have been funnier is if we made Great Boy have this ability.
To turn invisible? Oh my god!
I think you could have had way more fucked up fun with that. If you're trying to make him a comedy character. Just make him bad at being a spy in the same time. No. Even better. He's trying to spy on someone, like, in a fucking hot spring, right? Some girls. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he's having a nosebleed is giving him away.
No, but I was half joking last week that it was grape juice, but I was like, okay, it can't be like... I think it would be... The trailer would have been better if it was more of a side, more comedy relief character, because, like, those are the characters you would least expect to be the spy. The ones that are always having the most fun.
Yeah, but the problem is you have to make sure those characters are unaccounted for. Which is why I feel like making it Aoyama, who's fairly well accounted for, is kind of not good. Especially because it's a plot thread that's forgotten about for, like, the entire series until now.
I wonder if, now that we know about this, if there's any, like, sources that will say, where was Aoyama? Here. Where was he? Here. Where was he?
We have
here?
flashbacks of where he was on some of this shit.
I mean, like, in the episode proper.
That's what I mean. They're flashbacks to those episodes.
So we see him hiding in the bushes in the actual episode?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
And nobody thought it was suspicious, him hiding in the bushes.
I mean, man wasn't really good with his quirk and was kind of a coward, if we're being real. Especially when the League of Villains shows up, he's not exactly able to defend himself too well.
Yeah, because
His naval laser wasn't exactly great at that point.
right, I think it was never that good with his body because, well,
It was
maybe
mismatched, he says, at one
yeah,
point.
until he joined UA, it was incompatible with his body.
I think that's why he wore the belt the entire time. The belt was what helped him to, like, contain it.
Kind of like Cyclops' visor from X-Men.
A little bit, yeah. But it's the same, I think, idea of, like, he couldn't control it well until what? It was like maybe when they were getting their provisional licenses? That's when he actually had, like, enough control over it to do anything with it.
I'm not sure.
Would have been like season 3, I think.
I think that Toru gives a little speech like, everybody trusted you, how could you do this? And then
What were you
Deku
thinking the entire time you were with us?
manages to black whip Yuga and his parents and capture them.
Yep. You know what I should have taken a shot of was All Might with his fucking face. He looks hilarious in the shot.
Uh,
Like him staring at them being like, whoa.
could you send that to me now?
Hold on. Let me get it for you. Let's see here. That one.
Oh! Oh! I missed that face.
Hysterical the way he's drawn here. This is a hilarious face.
Obviously, it's unintentionally funny, but
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is. This is supposed to be a like, I can't fucking believe this right now kind of face, and instead it looks like he's half constipated.
Did I leave the refrigerator open before I left?
Damn, I forgot to turn off my oven. Oh man. Oh.
So it seems that they really know nothing about All for One.
Yeah, he contacts them when he feels like it.
Yeah, so they have no way of contacting him.
Mm-hmm. Eventually, after Deku gives off a "you can still be a hero" speech, the idea of we can actually use him to bait out All for One comes up, and he can redeem himself that way.
And there were like two things Deku says, like when you saved something, like when you use your naval laser to protect me, and like,
or at least tried.
yeah,
If nothing, like it didn't do anything other than be a distraction.
and there was something
That
about
point.
a cheese message. I do not remember that.
So there was like a single episode where he and Deku spent some time together, and I believe at the end of that he leaves a cheese message on his bed.
Oh.
I think that was right after the Black Whip thing or the Dark Whip. I always forget which one it is.
Black Whip.
I think it was right after that thing awakened.
Was that any sort of clue that he was the traitor?
No, it seemed more like an inspirational message for Midoriya than anything else.
Okay. Because I wonder.
Just said, "I know." That's all the message said.
But I wonder, looking back now, were there clues that he was the traitor?
It doesn't seem like it because almost everything we see is stuff where he's accounted for during the situation. Like, there's nothing to show that he would have been the one to do anything.
Okay.
It could have literally been anyone.
But 100% not Toru.
She's the one who could have been the most! If it's not a teacher. If we're going with just the students.
You just don't like Toru.
She's got the perfect quirk to fucking do it.
Well, I'm happy that I have a small pile of points in front of me this season.
You have 7. You have what? I gave you 5? 5 total points?
Yes.
Was what I offered? There you go. 5 points. So yeah, we leave with them taking Aoyama and his parents away to make sure that they are not, implanted with some kind of bomb or some shit.
Yeah, because Lady Nagant was.
Yeah, they didn't want anything like that, and that's kind of where the episode leaves off.
I completely forget what the trailer for next time was about.
Mm, there wasn't much. It seems like it's more planning stages. We do get to see like a video call with Eraserhead.
Okay.
But that's about all we got.
So I guess next time I Can't Stop Traitoring will be a double agent now?
Seems like it. I don't know if that'll be next episode or something leading up to it. Anyway, see you next time.
Goodbye.